Good afternoon, good evening, and good day. Good morning to those of you on the West Coast. And I'll tell you why I was late in a minute. Right now, we're getting the X feed set up, the X Spaces. It's trying. There actually is stuff in the notebook. Come on now. Play nice. What if I use a stylus? No. So it's not me tapping in the wrong spot. It's just saying, we're not going to do spaces today. There it is. Did I write it? Just because I've used the pencil? We're going to do, let's chat. Not within. There you go. Kacey and Friends. July. This pencil's actually easier to work using that stupid keyboard it comes with. 1, 2. No! It took the. I was tapping yes on a loud recording, and it took it as a swipe down. Well, there. It took a down swipe on start. All right, one more time. First, I got to turn on Bluetooth. I forgot all about that. All right, so now we're feeding Bluetooth to the tablet. Fat fingered it. It loves this idea of swiping down. Why would I put all this stuff in to swipe it down? Like, I've just changed my mind about making this space that I typed all this crap in for. Here we go. Core space. All right, there we go. It says connecting, which is really not good. Because it says that a lot. And then doesn't. We've got this phone in front of us. So let's try that. X. You know it takes a while to get this thing started. You'll usually start the space first. So what happened this morning was at some point the alarm went off, the alarm clock, and I managed to disable it twice. I say managed to because when you're in a state of sleepy drowsiness, it shouldn't quite be possible, but I do remember doing it. It requires basically not quite algebra, but a little more advanced math. And oh, I see why. Plus is just not making me a space here. It's just that's goofy. Spaces, money, spaces. There we go. And now I want to make my own. I'm not trying to join somebody else's. Am I blocked from making spaces? Yeah, just keep making posts. Let me do this. Let me see if there's an X update. Oh, and acknowledge all of you guys. Sorry, you're just sitting there, and I'm just not acknowledging anybody. Highlander says, we're live. It's going to be a great show. And I'm watching X Spaces see you pop up. Let's blame it on smoke from Canada. It's affecting our vision. Yeah, there we go. Lee says, happy Sunday. Good to see you. Good to see you, Lee. Highlander says, hi, Lee. Good to see you. Lee Moon says, hi, Highlander and New Journey. Good to see you. I hope everyone's doing well. And Highlander says his surgery is this Wednesday. We're going to be putting a motel on Tuesday. So I show up on time at 6 o'clock in the morning. Oof, ouch. I feel that one. That's an early riser. All right, so I've reconnected. What have I reconnected? I've closed X. Go to the Play Store. Search for X. Grok's pick is in. Who will win? Find out. Update X. Okay. So let's update to X. The question then is that why the tablet's freaking out? Let's try it. Play Store. Yep. Let's update to X there too. All right. Installing. And so while we wait for that, let's click on a couple things real quick. Got a trackball, so the mouse is less likely to go where I don't want it to go. And that's what's up with the hands is my doctor said the tendons on the thumbs were being overworked by my mouse, which was ergonomic, but much smaller than my hands. Okay, it's open. And we're going to do new. Uh-oh. So the first thing on my page is that the used Juniper Model Ys are now priced higher than new Juniper Model Ys. It must be that time of the quarter again where people just need them now and they can't get them. Okay, so he says, I'm having a hard time understanding the used Juniper prices. Let's ignore the fact that you can get 0% down or 0.99 financing on new, but actual lists price of Junipers are higher than new. I messaged the seller yesterday about a standard rear-wheel drive listed for $45K. I messaged saying, hey, listen, hey, these are brand new at 0% financing with $39K. With that in mind, I can offer $35. Thinking it's used, I'll give you less. They responded back with, sorry, it just sold for $42.5. He wants to know who's buying at that price and why. I know the seller could be lying to me. He could be, but probably not in this case. But just a quick search within 400-mile radius of 26 or later Model Ys, and not a single one of them is cheaper than new. What is the deal here? Welcome to used cars. Interesting. Okay, so let's try to make that space again. Let's check. That's going to be July 19th. That's a post. Let me copy this so I can type it again. Cut. I don't want to post. I want spaces. This one's not offering me a space either. Is spaces going from Android? Yeah, it's going straight to the flipping post. It sounds like an Elonism to me right here. Oh, it's too hard to go quickly make a post. Why is it asking me what I want to do when I hit plus? Well, maybe because there's options, Elon. All right, so spaces. Oops, something went wrong. Don't worry, it's not your fault. Yeah, no, really. Of course, it's not my fault. All right, so now let's load up spaces and giant menu. A bunch of other people's spaces. I can remind myself they're coming up. Who moved my cheese? Spaces. I don't care to join somebody else's right now. I want my own. There's chats. I'm not trying to chat right this second. I mean, I am, but not X chat. Where are spaces go? Fine. You want to post? There's a post. Where's spaces on Android? And I can't do iOS because iPad is not a valid spaces spot for some reason. And the only other phone I got is not Android. So, well, only other phone is not a work phone. What do you got to do? Settings. It's not a setting. I'm a little upset with this. Open Grok, settings, privacy, help center, profile, premium, communities. All right, so you don't get money on the tablet, only on the phone. That's me. Oh, but you do get a balance on the tablet on your homepage. If you click the money, it works. Interesting. So it just doesn't have money on the menu. Oh, there's spaces on the left. No, that put me back where I was with the list of menu. Maybe it's the Creator Center, Creator Studio. I've got tasks under revenue sharing. and they want me to switch it to X money. Oh, there's actually money in my X money, my revenue share. Nice. Haven't had that in a long time, but I guess they get rid of a lot of the bots, so maybe that's how. Analytics, inspiration. I want to make a space. All right, so the tablet's not going to be the way to get there today. We might just not have a side chat today, and that's unfortunate. But at the same time, if this keeps up, I'll make my own way. Smoker's in the house. Where is the mouse now? On the wrong screen, of course. Smoke says good day. Let's see. Lee wishes you well in your surgery there, Highlander. Good. And I don't see the broken hand. It's not broken, it's just the tendons are sensitive, and the doctor said, immobilize it, see what happens. Lisa tried to trade mine in. Yes, but then you're in that situation with the watch band and the hairbrush. Hold out for a better price, Lee. Yes. Maybe Smoke says good day, Kacey and all. And looking at Performance 3 and Y. Just window shopping at this point. We go for a YL, but don't want the launch series. Seriously, my Juniper is awesome. Hi, Smoke. Hi, Smoke. Says hi, everybody. Zap, zap. Don't criticize the bots. Mine have gotten much prettier lately. Let's see. Oh, okay. So X is updated here. So let's launch it. And if I hit plus, does it go straight to making a post, or does it let me make a space? What have they done? What have they done? You know what? This might be worth asking their robot about. There's Grok. I don't want to ask Grok voice mode. Well, that's kind of cool. Yeah, sure. We'll install that. Grok voice beta. Oh, I already got that. But let's see. Where is the spaces button on Android? Pressing plus. Just makes a post. Normally I wouldn't start here, but this is also their customer support for Tesla and SpaceX, so maybe you'll know X too. It is an XAI product after all. Thinking about your request. Searching the web. Why are you searching the web? Search X. help.x.com, Reddit, browsing page, Android X app bottom navigation spaces tab 2026. I don't have a spaces tab. Give me that and I'll be fine. Searching images. Thought for 30 seconds. On the X Android app, the plus compose button behaves differently depending on how you press it. Tap the button, opens a regular post composer, what you're seeing now. Long press. Am I not long pressing it enough? Because I did a long press. Because that was my first thing. It's like, oh, maybe they didn't like the overload. All right, so let's try that. No. No. Let's use this stylus. It's quite a long press. No. All right. You lie, Grok. Like a rug. Beamless our space on Android according to X's official tab. Long press, hold it down for a second. This opens a new menu. No, it doesn't. Bottom navigation bar. Spaces tab doesn't have a way to start a new one. Tap it to see live spaces, upcoming ones, or trending. Yeah, I don't want to see somebody else's space. I want to start my own. Spaces. Okay, I've got spaces up, and then search spaces happening now. It doesn't scroll forever, but there's nothing to make my own underneath that scroll. I've got chats, but all right, let's see. Yeah, I'm fully updated. All right, so I'll try this long press thing on my phone and see if it is where it is. Nope. You lie. Okay. Long press does nothing. But wait to launch the new post. And spaces tab. Well, only shows me other people's. And it's up to date. Thinking about your request. See, that's the problem with doing my shows on Sunday is I don't get any tech support because everybody's closed. Got it. This is kind of an issue on X Android app. Long press the X button sometimes doesn't trigger the full menu. Just acts like a normal tap and opens the post composer. Then reported as a bug or glitch in the recent updates. Doesn't help me make a space. The spaces tab at the bottom is primarily designed for browsing and joining other people's spaces. That's normal behavior. To start host Joan, you need to create start option. Yeah, that's the point. That's why I'm in Grok. Quick troubleshooting. Try this in order. These resolve it for most people with the same problem. Clear the X app cache, which is goofy as heck, but sure, I'll do it. Go to your phone setting, I know how to clear the cache. Force stop and restart. That comes with the update that I just did. Reinstall the app. Yeah, it's not gonna do anything. Other options: confirm your account is not protected or private. Well, that's true, but then it should just say no spaces, and not a private account unless somebody changed it. Alternative ways to start space right now. Go to the spaces tab at the bottom, navigation, look for start space. Didn't I just say there's nothing there? Tap your profile picture, spaces. Okay, yeah, that might work. It's not going to be about clearing the cache, I don't think. But all right, so me, profile, share, edit profile. Ouch, my back hurts. Hey, there's my old space. What if I click on that? Will it let me make a new one? I can boost it. Don't want to do that. Boost. Content disclosure. It's not that. No OnlyFans right here. All right, community note. My community note of myself. Yeah. Hidden replies. Oh, nothing. Because I say I didn't hide any but replies. All right, so here's a space. I can share it. I can leave the space. I can report it. I don't want to report it. It was 6 days ago. 6 days. Oh, because it ended less than 7 days ago. Oh, hi, baby. Thank you. I put it down. This camera on. You got a streaking baby handing me food. Let's see. Boost. I don't want to boost. Okay, it's playing. Posted by me. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. this again just to everyone. Can I attach a space from here? Is that what that is? They on in post now? No. I'm on both my X profiles on Androids, and I don't see a room yet. Highlander, will it let you make a space? Because it doesn't let me on either device, and I can't do it from the iPad. I know that from they wouldn't have started like 6 years later. It's showing up for me in the Live X section. Live on X? Okay, let me try that. Live on X. Following, subscribed. A bunch of groups I'm in. A group I'm not in, Chicago Bears on X. I see a bunch of people's faces. I don't see a live on X. Lists, Creator Studio. Analytics. All right, let's try that cache clearing thing. Search, Grok, Scott, Highlander, Andy. I don't know why I picked Andy Sly, but it did. Hello, Andy, if you happen to come across this. Info. And we will force stop. Yeah, I know. And then we'll clear the cache. Storage. Clear the cache. Open. Excuse me. Companies make deleting your account harder than getting a divorce. So a guy named Rob built a directory of direct links to delete your account from services. He'll just delete me. I'll save that for later. Share. Link. To raindrop. Stuff to look at later. Save. We're going to do plus. And plus makes a new post. We're going to hold plus for a moment. Nothing. All right, we're going to switch to X for Android. Is that an option anymore? It doesn't look like an option anymore. Premium profile, money, communities. Dots. Dots on me. All dots on me. Create an account, link an account. Don't want to do that. Dark mode or light mode. Lists, spaces. Search for a space. Happening right now. Get these in your calendar. Live. Upcoming. Highlander says nothing on either on Android. Gonna try my Apple right now. Yeah, because if it's not on Apple, then they've basically canceled spaces and these people were free scheduled. I don't see voice chat on space. Lee doesn't see it either. Oh my goodness, what have they done to us? All right, so we're just going to continue on, and we'll deal with that later. Sorry about wasting 20 minutes on spaces. Wow. So let me open up the notebook real quick. I do apologize for that. The last thing I had on screen was where I said, let's see why Toyota solid-state batteries was in the news again over on Inside EVs, and I skimmed through that while I was waiting for the show to start up, and surprisingly, even though there's an article about this, the author goes into it with skepticism, which I was glad to see because let me just say how he said it. He said, writing about solid-state batteries feels like waiting for a train that's always 5 minutes away but never actually arrives. Automakers have been developing these holy grail batteries for years, but we're yet to see a real-world mass-market application. The bold claims, however, continue to land much faster than the tech itself. But what their makers intend to do with this technology can speak volumes as well. As recently as the concluded Japan Mobility Show, Toyota said that its solid-state batteries are designed to last 40 years. If you can ever get them. If that's true, it would be around 2.7 times the average age of a passenger vehicle in the U.S. as of 2025, which now stands at 14 and a half years, according to the Bureau of Transportation Statistics. Keiji Kaita, the president of Toyota's Carbon Neutral Advanced Engineering Development Center, explained these goals in the Australian news car outlet Car Expert. And that's all we need, because from there, it's all about promises of super batteries. So let's go to what I was doing on the screen in the first place. I was opening a tab so we could verify the audio isn't all spaced out like it was last week. And then my screen is moved on top of the other screen instead on top of the camera. There we go. Okay, on the studio view, I'm going to do two things. I'm going to sample the audio, and I'm going to make sure that the chat is set up correctly. I think the live chat at least is set up correctly, but I want to see about the review chat. While we're looking at a blank screen on YouTube, there it goes. Get ready for Nordstrom's big sale. I'm not sure how we get Nordstrom tied in with this, but nah, I don't have anything to tag at Nordstrom's. They want me to start tagging. Let's go to content, live, spin, 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 spin. And then we'll go to the improved content tab, LG, blah, blah, blah. Thank you. I'm going to edit this one that we're on. And spin some more. I guess I could have reduced some of the load on my computer, but I was late. Let's turn on the air conditioner in this room. All right, chat is actually set up right, all the way through and through. I don't know how it makes a difference because I don't actually adjust chat before the show starts. And sometimes it's right and sometimes it's not. All right, but it's not in the right playlist. This is this live stream. And we didn't use AI. I mean, I guess we used Grok, but we didn't make it with AI. AI use, no. Because they're asking basically, is this an AI video? And it's not. All right, so now we go back to the content tab. Spin, spin, spin. My computer is pissed. Discard changes? No, don't discard the changes. Keep saving it. There you go. Although I only changed 2 parameters, it should have been faster than that. All right, now we're going to go to the studio. And then we're going to connect your encoder to go live, but you guys are chatting with me, so we know we're live. And as soon as it decides that the video is real, there it is. Now we're going to unmute, and you might hear doubles. That sounds nice this week. All right, so let's get started. I told you guys I was going to pull out the notebook, and I pulled out a tab for it. And there it is. No, don't bookmark this. I don't want this later. Plus, it's already in the notebook, so it should say double. Right click. Oh no, it's not. It's not because it was a sidetrack. Open in sidebar. Yes, that was the 12th. Show me the 19th. There we go. I've got 11 things pulled out in the notebook for you guys. And do we want to go backwards or forwards? I think we should go forwards. So let's start with our friends over at Bentley. I don't know why it doesn't open in the same window if I do the tabs. Because isn't that the point of using the sidebar. All right, so we'll close Toyota's garbage. Then we will share screen. Lee posted on X some dashcam footage of my Model Y pulling over for an ambulance. It moved off the road onto a driveway entrance, and then resumed after the ambulance passed by. It was perfect. That's awesome. All right, we're gonna do share screen. Spin, spin, spin. Oh, excuse me, sorry. It's thinking hard. It turned into a frozen screen with a beach ball. There we are. Now we're going to pick the Bentley post. And then we're going to come back to you guys and rearrange this thing in a way that makes sense to me. There we are. And then there. Then we'll go back to the Bentley post. Bentley says its first electric SUV, the Torcal, will not use fake combustion engine noises. Yay. While accelerating. And then, unfortunately, there's a big but. But it will use a Bentley Dynamic Symphony led by drums, viola, and bass. Still, not as bad as some of the stuff we've heard out there, but what's wrong with this silent as possible? The Bentley Dynamic Symphony, the soundtrack will respond to driver inputs, increasing tempo under acceleration before calming as the vehicle slows. That might be fun once or twice, but it sounds like it might stress you out a little bit. The Torcal will be unveiled later this year. And I guess here's the concept of it. Bentley's SUV, first SUV EV won't use fake engine noise, it'll use drums. So the driver will hear a freaking marching band that gets faster when they accelerate. I mean, I'm glad that Bentley is doing an EV. That part is nice. But, oof. Waiting for it to switch tabs. He found this on Autoblog. I'm curious what the Autoblog folks say. Scroll. Key points. September 23rd, because it's not far away. Debuts. September 23rd, so that's cool. So they might show it off before then, or they'll announce it and you can get it soon after. Instead of engine sounds, uses the Bentley Dynamic Symphony. Promises 300 plus mile range. The other part is, one, you have to be the Bentley driver for this to matter at all to you, because if you're the Bentley passenger, that will be annoying, won't it? Although, as a Bentley passenger, it does give you all the cues that the car is trying to go faster. Also posted one of me. Oh, where'd it go? Also posted one of me taking over before FSD did to avoid a construction barrel flung into my lane. Oh. Somebody hit it and it bounced. Fake noises and cinematic soundtracks might be useful to drone out the sounds of passengers screaming while I'm driving. Good evening, Anders from Stockholm, Sweden. Good to see you. And Lee says, hi, Anders. So some lean into futuristic effects like the Hyundai Ioniq 6N, while others attempt to recreate the rumble of a combustion engine. The Mercedes-AMG GT63 four-door uses an artificial V8 soundtrack, and the Lexus TZ even features a simulated V10 sounds that could eventually make their way into upcoming electric LFA. Oh, come on, guys. Wow. So this is an article all about the sound. That is really cool. The classic Bentley and this take on a Bentley. I like it. Kept the proportions a little bit, but yeah. Nice. It arrives September. Symphonic. Like, is this whole thing is about the sound? So no wonder that's what Sawyer was in on. And apparently none of the Autoblog people cared about this because there's no conversation to be had. All right, then we will move on. I brought it up because I was like, "Ooh, look, Bentley has an EV." and let's talk about it. And I didn't know that literally it was all about the sound. I knew Sawyer's post was about the sound. This one was my PSA for the week. Copy link to clipboard, paste and go. There we go. I found out how to keep my tabs with this thing. Tesla driver in BC gets ticketed for reading while on FSD. Yeah, guys, unless it's a cybercab, robotaxi ride, we need you to be looking at the road, not sleeping, not watching TV, not reading a book, paying attention to what the car is about to do, so that you can catch it before it does something disastrous. Eating is fine, but nothing that takes your eyes off of the road. All right, this comes to us from Drive Tesla Canada. Darren got it for us. Tesla driver in BC has been ticketed with, or after, being spotted allegedly reading documents while their Model Y had FSD engaged. The incident took place in West Kelowna, where the RCMP officers stopped the driver of a Model Y on July 15th after spotting the vehicle traveling southbound on Highway 97. The driver was reading documents with both hands off the steering wheel. Being that it's a Juniper Y, I don't care that their hands are off the wheel. That's part of it. But the not looking at the road part, that's a problem. How it says, Mr. Green, twice this week, distracted drivers almost hit me while I was walking. I believe it, and that's not good. Oh, all stuff is all kinds of messed up. Look at this. I can't send messages right now because one of these is messed up. Either X, Twitter, Kick. I don't have Kick on here. LinkedIn or Facebook. Okay, so I'll re-auth all the things after this. Police issued the driver two violation tickets, one for driving without due care and attention, and another for driving with the controls obstructed. It's probably a paper-thin charge right there, but yes, make them use what you have in the toolbox to make them understand that this is a driver assist system, even though it says FSD, it's FSD supervised. If you aren't supervising, then you're not doing it right. Regardless of technology available in the vehicle, drivers are responsible for maintaining control and remaining attentive at all times. It's not the only distracted driving ticket handed out to BC drivers this year. Back in March, BC Highway Patrol ticketed a driver after an officer observed what appeared to be the driver sleeping while traveling on Highway 1 in Quackleton. There's a T in there. The driver later claimed that they had simply zoned out, but police said dash cam footage did not support that explanation. More tickets could be coming to another BC driver who was caught allegedly on asleep behind the wheel on video on FSD. The incident is still under RCMP investigation, and these serve as a reminder that autopilot and FSD are classified as level 2 assistance technologies, meaning that the driver must remain attentive and ready to take control at all times. Drivers are legally responsible for the operation of their vehicles, regardless of what assistance features may be active. Yeah, unless you're in a robo-taxi, they haven't claimed that it's level 4, and you need to be watching it. It's plain as day. Turn it on. Pay attention to the road. Blah 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 blah. I'm gonna eat a piece of this sandwich, real quick. She put them on hot dog buns. Interesting, but they're upside down from each other, so they should be separated. This is the bottom, and that's the top, and that's the bottom, and that's the top. Oh, I see what happened. No, they are still welded together. The fake wasn't that good cold. Okay, paste and go. I don't know how the bottom and the top of the buns are next to each other like that. They were baked that way, obviously. Okay, so this one came to us from our friend Star Soup on the X Spaces, which are not working right now. I'll figure out the spaces later because that is something interesting. How goes it? Solo, good to see you. Yesterday, I attended the Lithium Day 2026 at the Robertstown, Texas Lithium Refinery. The facility is now complete and fully ramped. Oh, it's fully ramped too. That's cool. Materials are being shipped to Giga Texas for 4680 protection. Awesome. Let's look at the photos. The operation announcement was made by plant manager Jason Bevan. Infrastructure VP Rodney Westmoreland was on hand, congratulating the team on building the world's most advanced and only lithium refinery in North America. Battery VP Boone Eggleston, already following him, spoke about the newly filed patent update for 100% recycling process for batteries and possible future expansions. This is the part that the Star sent me. Tesla owns around 1,200 acres at the refinery. Texas Rep Denise Vilbos also spoke. The refinery processes spodumene concentrate into a battery-grade lithium hydroxide using an acid-free alkaline leach process. Is this the dry process they were talking about, or is this a new process? The foundational patent is for soda ash lithium refining process, and it reveals specific built-in closed loops designs. Global patent, this number, directly processes recycled batteries and manufacturing scrap and builds a pathway for a refinery to accept spent battery materials, introducing water vapor condensation, reuse systems, and heat recovery loops to process black mass. So they've got a different way than redwood. I wonder if they might try to buy redwood at that point. It replaces traditional harsh sulfuric acid leaching with a process that yields significantly lower CO2 emissions and higher end-to-end efficiency. This core patent focuses explicitly on the extraction of high-purity materials from degraded cells to build new cathode active materials for new batteries. Cool. Now we've got a Powerwall 3. Safer to drive, impact protection. Oh, that's the battery casing. Is that the battery casing? The bumper. And then we've got FSD, of course. Tesla emergency response. Oh, that's cool. And there is it's either a swamp cooler or an AC unit. Optimi, Cybercab, Cybertruck, Powerwall, VR tours, and merch. Thank you for the Tesla for the invite. It was a great experience. Once the incoming old battery supply reaches a certain critical threshold, very little mining of new materials will be needed. That's pretty cool. That is true. Optimus doing peace signs. Cute. Hi, Solo. Hi, Solo. Did I watch the Boring Company content? Dirty Tesla and Farzad. I did not. I saw Farzad by himself for a second, but I was in the middle of programming something and I wasn't paying attention. So what was Chris saying to Farzad? That's a good question. The tunnel scale. Can't wait till they start mass manufacturing boring machines. Yeah, I love the concept of the boring company. I did see City Nerds last attempt on trying to use the boring system, and I'm assuming that he's either not going on days where there are conferences or something, because it was another underwhelming experience for him. But I am glad that he keeps trying. But I want to see it running at some sort of clip so we can gauge the complaints of the not a train people. Okay, so that was battery day, lithium day. Data. Get your hot data here. What is this? Doesn't seem like it belongs in here. Let's see. Oh, yeah, it is. It does belong here. Our friend Brian from Futuraza. Data. Get your first hot driving data here. And Tesla's global fleet has crossed 12 billion miles on FSD supervised after hitting 11 billion miles last month on June 9th. So literally a month later, no, not literally, like a month and a couple days later, we had another billion miles of FSD. That is incredible how fast it's growing. Makes me easy to watch that. Going so fast I couldn't catch my 4 miles of FSD doing the drive-by. All right, so is that? I think this is another Brian post. Let's copy the link and see. Kind of hoping he'd be here to talk about it, but he's probably in display, which is, I want to know how that went too. Spin. I think I just got to restart the computer. The crazies who don't want to acknowledge what this means are getting increasingly desperate. Guys, it doesn't matter what you believe. This is either going to happen or it ain't. Sometimes you don't need a swami to tell you what happens next. Indeed. A record 245 cybercabs were spotted today at Tesla's Gigafactory, Texas. The gold robots are really starting to populate. Drone video from Airwave. $245. Somebody asked if they had steering wheels, and that is a fair question. They're either going wide soon or into the scrap heap, and we've seen Tesla do this: build cars and throw them away. So it could be both. They can't keep building forever. I know which one I'm betting on. Total scale. Wait till they start mass manufacturing the boring machines. That's true. Ramping up. Yep. Thing is, wouldn't it be best for SpaceX to buy Tesla before Cybercab launch? Figure it will cost a lot more if earning from Cybercabs is on the books. This is true. But I love the enthusiasm, but Cybertruck flopped hard despite parking lots full of them. Just because they're built doesn't mean people want to use it. I mean, I see the fabled lots. They never overproduce them relative to demand. Yeah, that's true. They did sit around for a minute, but they weren't. Those are waiting on transit, basically. I'm almost certain that one of the best capital allocators in the century pushed 1,000 out of the copier without a solid plan to turn the expenditure into a profit. Yeah, that makes most logical sense. Unfortunately, at the ATP, at this point, I guess, they have built so many cybercabs with controls just for data farming until we see the ones without controls being dispatched. It's just business as usual. we'll know eventually, but 99% of us will know. Most of us only differ on the when. I'm in the camp that thinks they probably mistimed the ramp up, but this should not be misconstrued to think that I'm saying it'll fail or anything like that. Expect peak FUD ahead. Once the gates open, none of that will matter though. I've seen 2 in the last 2 days in Dallas, and both were while I was doing short neighborhood drives. They're coming, and I saw one in SF, San Francisco, while I was there last week. I was like, where is SF in Texas? But it's in California. Cybercabs were testing and polishing off 15 on the track and some on the roads. When it was finished very soon, the fleet will be released. A new car with AI4 silicon and memory running beta 15.4 when it's good to go. It'll go wide. I figure we have 1,000 to 2,000 Teslas sitting somewhere doing inference compute while they figure out how to network them. That's possible too, because that was something they wanted us to do with AI5, right? Cybercab's rather somewhere over 1,000. I'm thinking, yeah, I can see that. Just 200 there, and then another 5 lots of these somewhere, maybe even inside the factory. All right, so that's Cybercab. This one I liked. Let's copy this link. Paste and go. This page doesn't exist. So basically, he was responding to somebody complaining that their streak was broken by having to move the car in a parking lot. And he said, good, save the whole tweet. They are obviously paying attention to disengagements. So if we want this stuff to finally get finished, then we need to actually supervise and intervene when it dies. And that's all it saved. So he's got a point, is that sitting there getting your streaks and not ever interacting with the car doesn't give it the right signal. It tells it that, oh, you're doing great. Whereas if you take over, it says, you're not doing great. But the problem is they've gamified it, and now people are trying to preserve streaks and get confetti instead of fixing the stuff, which is unfortunate. Show me the incentive, and I'll show you. My Islander account says new X Android beta tester. Yeah, I tried to get Enor out of that X Android mode, and it didn't offer either way. Usually it does. I'm gonna stop messing with it. Garages near chargers would be smartest, so that's what they would do. Oh yeah, that's a good idea too. Cybercabs with driver controls can be deployed for testing in new areas, pretty much anywhere in the country. Helpful for doing initial training. I'd invite Tesla to do it in my area. Yeah, indeed. I can't get over 90% FSD due to disengagements. I report everything, and that's the way you're supposed to do it. Thank you, Lee, for the good work. Letting it just bebop around and near miss, and that's not enough, because then they'll think it's acceptable. Oh, nobody's ever complained. Look, this guy did 20,000 miles with the car, just doing a marginally okay job. They must be all right. He's happy with it. No, you gave him confetti, and he was happy with that. Solo X says they should gamify mapping areas that need mapping. Hide Pokemon there, that kind of thing. Yes, that's what they should gamify. I agree. Put that as a tweet, tag me, and I'll retweet that. Man, right there. That's more important than streaks. Lee agrees. This one was fun. Tesla Semi was spotted in Illinois this weekend, or this week. Look at that. Would you look at that? Look at it. Look at it. This is the previous one. That's not the new part 2. But it's there. It's working. Must be doing real work. Trailer on it, everything. I think they're going to do winter testing in Chicago. Maybe, but is there 7 months or 4 months early to be doing Chicago winter testing? Been seeing them in Bolingbrook, Lockport, and Joliet area for the past month or two. Chicago burbs. That's kind of cool. And then this one here. I may almost never agree with this guy, but, you know, I let the ideas fly when they're right. What? So Florida Governor Ron DeSantis called out media bias in the Tesla crash coverage. And what happened there was he's like, you don't hear anybody call out any other car brand when there's a crash, just Tesla. And he was upset at that. And now I've got to go find another article on this other thing. So that came from Teslarati, so let's stay at Teslarati. Apparently I spelled it wrong. Oh, Teslarati is down. Not the page. I thought they took the article down. Yeah, because it had that politics adjacentness to it. This page isn't working right now. Error 500. Like the idea solo, they could tie the DDD game into it. I'm not familiar with the DDD game, but yeah. Can't find your Twitter info and bio. What is it? It's at Kacey Green. I don't have a title because it's just me by myself. But just KACEYGREEN. Tesla should reward those who report problems, bug bounties, free months of FSD, free month of supercharger access, etc. I agree, Lee. Make everything better. All right, so Teslarati isn't there without the W's because it takes you straight back to the one with the W's. So they're just having problems. So we'll do DeSantis, Tesla, bias. Those are the keywords from the title. And either we can get ourselves a cached copy of it or that was in May. Autos bias. They might have one that's still up. There we go. How bias is mainstream against Tesla vehicles in 2026? Discuss. A recent post by Florida Governor Ron DeSantis had reignited debate about whether legacy media outlets apply selective scrutiny to Tesla. On July 17th, DeSantis questioned why headlines in the... Oh, you're not seeing this. Come on. Oh, as I get ready to move it back, it moved over. He questioned why headlines routinely name Tesla in crash reports, even when the driver is the primary factor. while similar incidents involving Ford, Honda, and Toyota rarely receive brand-specific treatment in the lead. These comments reference the 19th crash in Katy, Texas, where Tesla Model 3 struck a home, killing 76-year-old Martha Avila. The Tesla's vehicle data showed that the driver overrode the assistance system by flooring the accelerator to 73 miles per hour in a residential area. No malfunction occurred, yet major outlets led with phrases like tying the incident to Tesla's self-driving or autopilot technology, framing it as a cautionary tale about advanced driver assistance, even though it was a case of a guy in some sort of mental breakdown of some sort. This pattern is not isolated. Sorry, allegedly. He looked up FSD was too timid and a bunch of other stuff. Innocent until proven guilty, but doesn't look good. This pattern's not isolated. Throughout 25 and 6, the coverage of Tesla has frequently emphasized brand or its autonomy features while downplaying contexts such as driver overrides, high speeds, or impairment. In contrast, reports on crashes involving other manufacturers often default to generic language like vehicle collided with or focus on human factors without spotlighting the automaker. Well, Ron, you see, other automakers spend billions of dollars on advertising, and newspapers and magazines and other outlets need advertising to stay alive. So they're not going to bite the hand that feeds them. Even if they have a fully journalistic ethics department, they're still going to kill stories or soften them a little bit to not hurt their benefactors. Reply to the extreme with a comment. Excellent. That will make it easy enough for me to find. If you're by yourself, what happens to the apprentice moderators? Well, one of them, she brought these sandwiches and she was streaking, and until she chooses to put on clothing, she can't be on camera. The other one is videoing her educational games. Yep. Let's see. So money is a factor, Ron. Critics argue this reflects deeper bias over Musk's political evolution. That is a small portion of this, but they were doing it long before he had his little shift. In fact, they are part of the reason he had his little shift, where he thinks he hasn't moved, but he sprinted the Overton window one way, while he claims the other folks have done it the other way. And there's a little bit of that going on all over, but to say that he hasn't moved is a damn lie. He might not realize it, but it is. Anyway, before I get into, because I'm not, criticizing that he had a shift. I'm criticizing that he thinks that there isn't one. His role in the broader tech political landscape may have made Tesla a proxy target for outlets critical of those views. That is a possibility, and I really wish he would stop, or they would stop, or whatever. Just because I'm driving my car doesn't mean I have a political statement to make by driving said car. I have one car, it's great, and I can't afford more, and I don't need to go switching it because I need to signal to people that, that's stupid. I don't need to waste money for people to have an idea of what my views are. I can just, you want to know? Ask me, I'll tell you. Maybe not here, but yeah, I'll tell you. You get an earful. Academic studies from 25 found that negative perceptions of Musk correlated with reduced purchase intent among liberal-leaning customers for Tesla specifically, more so than other vehicles. I do believe we saw this in Europe, and then people's wallets started screaming at them that, hey, you got 20 euro gas, what you gonna do about it now? Oh, well, I'm gonna get the good one. All right, then. Tesla's defenders point to strong objective safety data. That's something I look at. The vehicles consistently earn top NHTSA and IIHS and Euro NCAP and all the other safety ratings. Internal telemetry has long significantly shown lower crash rates when autopilot or full self-driving is engaged compared to manual driving. In the Texas case, Tesla publicly released the data contradicting early narratives when the system was at fault, or that the system was at fault. Skeptics of bias counter that Tesla's status as the EV and autonomy leader naturally attracts more coverage. This is a part of it, not just the money. This is part of it. But the money is a lot of it. Because right now, you write Tesla and you put something sensational, people click on it, The clicks are going to bring more people to your advertisers, and it's going to get you more money. And you don't have to filter what you say because they're not buying advertising from you. Whereas if you say some smack about Ford or Chevy, they might stop spending as much with you. It also invites scrutiny that more opaque competitors avoid. That's another part of it. It's like you just literally can't have the conversation about others because they'll cover up a faulty ignition or see how many times somebody has to get smacked in the rear before they have to pay out. So these are different animals, and they are not used to this difference in being able to do reporting, and so they've swung it a little far in the Tesla this, Tesla that news. Still, the asymmetry remains when doing a non-Tesla vehicle. When a non-Tesla vehicle causes a fatality, coverage rarely weaponizes the brand name and to imply systemic failure. When a Tesla is involved, even with clear driver responsibility, the narrative often pivots to questioning the entire technology stack and the company's vision. Tesla ran into a house and killed an old lady. Never mind that it was somebody's foot was on the pedal. And what does this mean for robotaxis? Robotaxis are dangerous. What's the robotaxi got to do with a man driving into a house by himself? Nothing, because the robotaxi won't have a pedal for you to override with. So this scenario cannot happen with robotaxi. In 26, Tesla advances towards unsupervised FSD and potential robotaxi deployment. This framing risks shaping public policy, and that's what they're trying to do, whether they know they're doing it or not. Some of them are jumping on the bandwagon. Some of them have this narrative to push, and this is why we need some of what Finland has with critical media consumption training throughout our lives, both as adults and from school age. We don't get that here. We do have critical thinking classes, but they're elective. And this is the same thing that the lady talked to us about with where I was from Australia, where I was cautious of my framing of Sweden's recommendation that the Tesla not be allowed to speed on FSD. Is coverage driven by newsworthiness and safety concerns, or a broader narrative trying to associate Tesla with danger, regardless of the facts? I don't even know if they know. They're just like, ooh, I write Tesla, I get clicks. The answer likely lies somewhere in between, but the pattern of disproportionate branding in the headlines suggests that the scales are not perfectly balanced. Exactly right. Sawyer writes, this might be the first politician I've seen talk about this. And then there's his post. It would be one thing if the self-driving malfunctioned, but the crash was purely human-induced. Seems these outlets want to associate Tesla with crashes. And there's no comments on this one, probably because it's like the 10 down, and Tesla Audio was number 1, and then they're down. So that was that. And then what it came to was, I think this is it. It came to lead into this crash. No. Yes. An out of control moving truck crashes into 10 cars on Columbia Pike. Cybertruck split in half. Okay, so this is better. But 10 cars. Smooshed up a Ford Explorer, killed a Chevy Traverse, blah, 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 blah. It didn't say that. It just on the Cybertruck. But in this case, Cybertruck split in half is fantastical and might draw attention. When I saved this, it was an article. Now it's a video. Not just a video, but a straight up YouTube video. So this one, I'd hope there was the article so we could talk about it, but let's just look at the picture and I'm going to point out a couple things. It's a news article. They hopefully wouldn't do the wrong thing here. Let's this is in Montgomery County, Maryland.
Latest on that wild crash that left behind a trail of wrecked cars, including a Cybertruck that was split in half. Fox 5.
Cybertruck split in half, still on the wheels. This Chevy Nissan got bowled over. This Mercedes got messed up. This other large vehicle, is that the Cybertruck? Okay, the Cybertruck took it head on if that's Cybertruck, but no, that's a car. It's a sedan of some sort. It must not have been one of the first ones hit. All right, let's continue.
Virginia Rita is in.
Whoa. I saw a trapezoidal fender right there. So the fender flew off. So the split in half, I want to show you a couple things about that real quick when they show it.
Including a Cybertruck that was split in half. Fox 5's Virginia Rita is in Silver Spring now with how it all unfolded. Virginia, it's a crazy story.
Yeah, definitely, Sydney. And I've been talking to some of the residents, and they're just as thankful as we are to know that everyone survived. But we do know that.
I'm glad they led with that because a lot of the reporting did not lead with that. Everyone survived.
10 people were taken to the hospital for minor injuries. But when you look at those images, they're.
All right, so your vehicle splits in half and you have minor injuries. Seems that the crash protection is doing its job, right? Reply to my stream with a comment. I need to go over, look at me. Look at me, I'm Mr. Musics. Oh, this is kind of crazy. There's that. Repost with comment. This is the way. Not streaks. I said not, it changed it a bit. Not knit. Not. There we go. Repost. Okay. Let's continue this.
Shocking. This crash was.
Okay, so right here, what do we see? Yes, it's split in half, but what do we see? Look at that. The door is operating normally. They didn't jaws of life the people out of there. What else do we see? All of this stuff is behind the air compressor. What does that mean? If the air compressor is still attached to the frame, that means the entire passenger cell was in one piece. Seems to me the safety system did its job. You got a 26-ton moving van or more against a 3 to 4 ton truck at high speed. Everyone survived. We can replace things, except Model S's and X's. But I think this is actually a good thing. I mean, it's terrible that they had to go through this, but they are able to walk away from something like this.
Was pretty intense. Take a look. The impact was so powerful, it ripped a Cybertruck in half.
I would like to see the dash cam video.
Montgomery County Fire and Rescue, police and paramedics rushed to the scene. There's aerial footage capturing the emergency response, the wreckage, and the backups that followed. Investigators say just before 2 p.m., a moving truck lost control on Columbia Pike and Fairland Road, crashing into at least 10 cars. More than
Lost control. Did somebody cut him off? Was there a giant pothole? Was there a mechanical failure? That's what Ron was talking about in the news, being disproportionate. We don't get hardly anything about the truck. We don't know that it was international or Peterbilt. We know it's a moving truck. And the only reason we know it was National Capital is their name is emblazoned on the side. They didn't say that in the article either.
than a dozen people were evaluated after some became trapped inside their cars. 10 people, including 3 children, were taken to the hospital.
People trapped in their cars. What cars were they trapped in? Not the Cybertruck. We saw that door open straight up. What were they trapped in?
With minor injuries. Right now, investigators are working to determine what.
Oof. So right there we see again, the vehicle is right side up. The airbags did their thing. That door was mangled beyond mangle, but look how far it didn't get in there. This looks like when we see the pole test crash. Remember how I wince when the other cars, when the pole goes too far in, like when the pole gets in that far. I was like, eh, that was the pole test. That was not very fast. That means that a more energetic impact will be worse than this on those cars where it goes in that far. I tried to stabilize myself and almost threw my lunch across the way. It's amazing to see the Cybertruck intact from the passenger compartment forward. The bed was sheared off. It looks like exactly, and I'm curious how it does shear off the back. But I do, again, that safety cell is intact, and that's not something we can say about very many other vehicles in a crash like this.
What caused the truck to lose control, but here's how residents reacted.
Thank God everybody survived, you know. That was terrible. That was a terrible accident. So I'm just glad everybody's survived. It is ongoing traffic, but it's much controlled, you know.
And we did reach out to authorities to get more information on this crash. At the moment, there are no further details for now.
I like to call it a crash. So, I don't know if there's any new information about it because it was yesterday that happened. Yeah, let's see the plan map just again. Back in February, that moving company was one of the movers I was looking at hiring. They came in the cheapest of all the ones I was looking at. Ended up not going with them as they refused to provide proof of insurance, and they got angry when I asked them. They insisted they were current on their insurance. All the other movers just provided it without any headache. I wouldn't be surprised if they had the same crappy insurance company as the truck that hit me. Spending hundreds of thousands of dollars to not do the right thing. Smart man, you did your homework. There's no proof of insurance is a definite red flag. Hope we see the dash cam footage. Okay, so that is everything that I had on the list. Let's now go forward and do our sidetracking. Well, we know Teslarati's down, so they're not going to get it this week. We did Inside TVs last week. There we go. Let's do them. Tesla launches in Latvia and Uruguay, expanding on 2 continents. Nice. The Kia EV2 long range goes on sale with 281 miles of range plus GT and black line trims. McMurray's hybrid haulers move more freight with fewer fuels. That's kind of cool. It's like it's a Australian road train, so hybrid there is fine just because the charging infrastructure where they travel is not sufficient, not yet. Segway Zaber review. The Mall Cop company just built a better Suran for less money. The new 6-passenger 780-mile PHEV from GM has North America written all over it. Come on, GM. Don't get lazy. Again, if a PHEV works for you and you're going to plug it in, that's fine. But as a manufacturer, they can do better. Li Gong brings... Oh, there's one more in my list before we get sidetracked. Li Gong brings electric heavy equipment options to North America and video. Oh, I say one more. I've got two more in my list. Let's find some more stuff to sidetrack on, and I will pull those 2 out. Heavy equipment options to North America. That's cool. With video. Honda goes all in on EVs in a multi-billion-dollar market. Commercial lawnmowers. About time, because the commercial lawnmowers and the gas lawnmowers were taking forever to get switched over. We saw the electric lawnmowers go over very recently. The Slate Autos pricing finally revealed the back-to-back basics of the truck is officially one of the most affordable new vehicles you can buy. But will that low price drive demand? Yeah, it will. Absolutely, lots of people who probably pay more for a basic truck that they can work on themselves. Doesn't bombard them with tech. Slate I'm gonna go with that one. What do you guys think? Spin, spin, spin. I didn't want to open a new window, but we did. Well, I guess we didn't get sidetracked very far, did we? All right, so this one, I'm going to copy link to clipboard, paste and go, is another YouTube video, so I'm going to pause that one pretty quick. Tagged my ex-post where I avoided the flying barrel while I took over before FSD.
Did you know some of the biggest mobility stories happening in the world right now are actually happening outside of China?
Okay. Where I avoided the barrel while I took over before FSD handled it. Tesla stability control likely helped me with this, make the sudden maneuver. It probably did. So this one here is from Everything Electric APAC. This is the world's cheapest solar car. Yes. So this looks like a Wulong Gong Mini. It's in Thailand. And yes, that is a solar cell on top. It's good for like 800 watts, which isn't a lot, but on a 10 kilowatt hour battery, it'll really extend you out. When we get a chance, I'd like a moment or two to talk about the Toledo electric buses. Like your new tag. Yeah, we talked about a little bit about them. You got something more you want to talk about? We certainly can. Let's see. So one of the cool things about this particular vehicle, aside from how decently appointed it is inside, the solar panel extends. You get more solar panels than just the one. And for those of you who are familiar with the HV Nomad project through and through, both then and now, you'll understand why I thought this was really cool. I want to do something like this too. Not the car, but the extending solar panel. And you see it's got a little piddle puddle underneath it. It's because this thing has air conditioning, and in Thailand, that's pretty important. He pointed out, look at this knob. This knob does AC. So it's you got an armrest with a hole in it. Same thing that Matt Watson was complaining about in the Honda that he just reviewed over there. But for the price, for $10K, that's not a bad interior. And here we get that solar cell extended out. I guess solar panels. The solar cell would be just one piece of the thing. Excuse me. And look at that. There's not a lot of options in there, but you got a nice little screen. The color combo is all right. The materials don't look bad. For 10 grand. And solar. This is Solarkey. Solarkey, what did he call it? The Solarkey.
This is the Solarkey Sun V.
The Sun V. Not EV, it's the Sun V. Which is also an EV. So, I thought this was pretty cool. And I wanted to share it with you guys. This one isn't quite... isn't quite a story, but it gave me something to rant about. So Reuters is reporting that Ecopetrol from Colombia says a cyber attack stole data tied to 3,300 accounts. And I don't know if they're a gas company or a utility. Oh, they're an energy company. So it doesn't tell me anything either, because we call gas companies energy companies as well. 3,300 user accounts, though. So I would assume this is going to be a utility company, because how many people would have an account with a gas company? Like a fossil fuel gas company in your tank. So maybe if they can't use all of that money they're making, maybe we can bring it in-house. Put solar out, drive electric, charge our batteries. Speaking of charge our batteries, my battery did not charge at all last night. I gave it a little topper this morning before I went to bed. 2 separate cyber incidents. No operations affected. Federal employees can download TikTok on government devices, says the DOJ. During his first term, we couldn't have TikTok on anyone who worked for or with the government. and now they want it on their devices. Interesting. Kenya is investigating a cybersecurity incident affecting the president's website. Huh. Clover Health says employee account accessed in cyber incident. I assume it's going to say, oh. I found how to scroll sideways with this tab this trackball of mine. And it does say incident. Earnings call is next week. Excellent. We'll lean on Patrick to decode that one for us. They better announce they've been testing cybercabs in an inference network on it. That's with the cybercabs not having wireless. Also, what's with the cybercabs not having wireless charging? Yeah, exactly. I also would like to know. The other question is, do they not have wireless charging, or is the wireless charging network not ready? Or are they trying not to show it off for some reason? Because all we see is them doing the little bumper plug thing and then sticking it in the butt like that, like to get in the rear, like doing, and then you got a it's not ergonomic by any means, because it's a handle made to go in side with, you get waist height, and you got to get down low, stick it in there straight, even though it's curved. Interesting. So the AC here now seems to have just be pumping more heat into the room. Oh yeah, 101 over there. So let me turn off the AC. All I was doing is wasting power. It's 98 outside, so actually it might still be working. And just in that corner. So here should be like 85, 90. Yes. Yeah. Ouch. Ouch and yuck. Yeah. So back to the sidetrack, I guess, because that was officially the end of the notebook. So let's see what else they had to say, and then we will get to me eating this sandwich I've been looking at. I'll show. All right, there's their poll. HMP Flash brings affordable 75-mile-an-hour electric scooters to the U.S. Are they scooters if they do 75 miles an hour, or are they just small motorcycles? Because scooters have a top speed of, I think, 45 or 50. Trump's dumb idea to tariff Canada over smoke could set useful precedent. It sure could. And they won't like it. That's going to be a monkey paw situation. The latest dumb hypocritical idea to come out of the person running the U.S. into the ground could actually be set the precedent that we need to solve climate change. Hear me out for a minute. Right now, much of the East and Midwest U.S. is shrouded in smoke due to wildfires in Canada. The wildfires are a natural result of summer heat wave that has swept across most of the continent and indeed most of the hemisphere. Canada experienced similar widespread wildfires in each recent summer as our inaction on climate change. Who wrote this? Jameson wrote this. Inaction on climate change ensures that summers will only get hotter from here. Similar wildfires can be expected in the future. Canada is not the only nation facing wildfires. Yeah, we do it all the time. There are many burning in the U.S. right now, and Russia. And the country with the most similar geography to Canada, i.e. wide swaths of unpopulated boreal forests, experienced its own huge wildfires this last few summers. Some active right now. That was my idea on X days ago, is to smoke out here. Nice. They should have designed the charger to be easily plugged in by Optimus. That would actually make sense, because then you wouldn't really need wireless at all. I don't know if you'd put an Optimus in the trunk, or just have one at the stations, or like an Optimus light slid in the bumper. Despite the obvious connection between warming world and more wildfires, U.S. Republicans have quickly decided that their quest may be wrong about literally everything, and the solution to the problem is to blame Canada. Is that a link to the song? There better be a link to the song. Oh, I think it is. It goes to YouTube. The argument has been made that by both the current and Republicans. Okay, so the punishment proposed, of course, it would take the form of only word blah blah tariff. Okay, but whatever. Those have worked out great for you in the past. Here's the thing: we actually need something like this globally for CO2. We've had them in the past, but we need to give them some teeth. And it's like I keep saying, this guy, he's really good at identifying problems. He's one of the worst people in the world about finding solutions to any of the problems that he's identified. So, just because he says something's wrong doesn't mean that we don't need to doesn't mean we shouldn't pay any attention to it, but some of the stuff he's just like crazy about, like, oh, steam catapults versus electric. Yeah, the electric one may be broken, but that's just a matter of getting a contractor that's not lazy or knows what they're doing or whatever. Like, going backwards isn't the solution. But something like this, oh, there's smoke. Yeah, you're right, there's smoke. Or what was the other thing? Not that one, because he proved it and he said that he cheated. What was the other one? Groceries being expensive. Once he learned the word groceries, he said, yeah, that was something. Like I said, good at finding problems, terrible at finding solutions. Carbon price, but global, even if some countries refuse, that would be cool. Some proposal already exists. I mean, Highlander fixed it, so why can't these guys fix it? BMW i3 Touring caught for the first time, and that wagon rear is hard to miss. Wagon i3, electric wagon. Say it ain't so. Picture didn't load, that's for sure. The picture didn't show. That's not a wagon. That's a saloon. I am disappointed. I'm guessing this one might be the wagon that we can't see. Just stop charging DST and VST on food items. Yeah, that would be sharp. General sales tax and the VST is. I'm not sure what the VST would be. 800 volt architecture. That's cool. But I didn't see a wagon. I'm guessing the wagon is just didn't load this picture here. I'm not going to reload it. Google rolls out your info card. Apple's M6 chip is coming soon. If only the storage and RAM weren't through the roof. That would be fun. Go from an M4 to an M6. Toyota's offering $3,000 if you can trade your old EV for a new electric SUV. Good for you, not for me. I'm keeping my unicorn. EcoFlow brings back its Prime Day power station pricing for sale for $169. So they, speaking of EcoFlow, they did approve that I need to send my unit back because it's all sparkety, and I'm just waiting on the sticker so I can go pay to put it in the mail at £100. Because without it, we don't have enough inverters or storage. Because I am set up for 2 of them into the home panel. Hi, baby. I hear a baby. In the birthplace of the car, EVs are now king. BEVs outsell gas cars in Germany. Is auto the birth of the car? BYD unveils its latest luxury EV with sleek fastback styling. That does look pretty cool. I'm getting a Garmin watch, changed my e-biking and fitness lifestyle. Volkswagen ID Polo EV secured 25,000 orders in weeks. Now it's even cheaper. And we do know that the ID Polo is one that's actually going to make the cut in all the VW cuts. Tesla launches in Latvia and Uruguay, expanding on 2 continents. That's a pretty cool picture. Neato. Excuse me. There you go. McMurray's hybrid haulers move more freight with fewer fumes. That reminds me of the future free from fossil fuels. Kapow. Nice. There's definitely an Australian road train. Australian's mining firm MLG helping to decarbonize their heavy haul operations while reducing exposure to volatile fuel costs. The trailer experts McMurray Welding have launched a 50-50 joint venture to develop and deploy a proprietary hybrid road train, HRT, that pairs a series of powered trailers with conventional diesel or battery electric trucks, semi-trucks to enable safer. Oh, so they're self-propelled as well. Neat. Or power assist, probably. The entire system is engineered specifically for MLG's dense payloads, extreme duty cycles, and punishing off-road demands of Australia's remote mining landscape. That's even cooler than it sounded. I'm glad I clicked on it. The Kenworth T880E vocational by Packard. And as our friend Brian told us there, that they covered up the intakes because they don't need them. That this is not the most efficient way to build a truck. Thus, the prices are higher than they need to be. It's not hard to imagine something like a Packard Kenworth T880E vocational truck at the front of something like this, and even a beefed up version of the Mercedes E-Actros. So Actros and version. We'll have you on the keyboard there, my friend. For our clients, continues Hatfield. Our vision is that the hybrid road train could offer a direct pathway to reducing their Scope 1 emissions from heavy haulage, supporting decarbonization commitments that many have made to their own stakeholders. The technology also has the potential to reduce the number of assets required to perform haulage tasks on site, improving operational efficiency. Neato. Segway Zaber. This Tesla balance bike was kind of cool to see. Tesla finally launches a bike, but it's not what fans wanted. Yeah, it's a little thing for 1 to 4 year olds to learn how to ride a bike. A little Tesla brand on it. Looks like an 80s motorcycle. I like it. Mm-hmm. Oh, 2 to 5, sorry. WIX4 looks more like a Grand Tour than an SUV. Okay. Tesla shareholders are begging Musk to explain missed goals. Yes. They have flooded the company's Q2 say.com questions portal with the tone has shifted from the grand vision to asking why almost none of it showing up on schedule. We take the impossible merely late. 2 softballs at the top and a suspicious vote count. 300 questions have been submitted. The top 2 questions are pure softballs. One asks for current status of Optimus Gen 3 production ramp and what tasks the robot will perform by the end of 27. The other asks about the main constraints to expanding robotaxi operations. Both are teed up for Musk to deliver a promotional answer with no accountability. Fair. What stands out is the vote count. These questions were not among the most voted earlier this week, but a major Tesla shareholder, controlling at least a couple 100 million shares, came in to make sure those softballs were on top. Say works by allowing you to verify your shares with the platform and upvote questions with your shares rather than 1 vote per shareholder. Each one of those 2 questions represents 4.8 million Tesla shares, while the third place question represents fewer than 975,000 shares. And that gap suggests a single large shareholder sitting on hundreds of millions of dollars of stock upvoted the 2 friendliest questions to push them to the top. The questions shareholders actually care about start at number 3. Now, shareholders want to know why Tesla keeps missing its own targets. The third most upvoted question cuts straight to it. The Tesla has missed short-term guidance on Robotaxi 3 earnings reports. Robotaxi 3 earnings reports in a row, from 50% coverage of the U.S. by 2025 to most recently 7 cities in the first half of 2026. They missed that one too. Yeah. Yikes. And this is something that Patrick and I were talking about. I was talking about, what happened to the 50%? And he's like, yeah, they didn't make it. And we didn't have anything more to talk about on it, so we kind of dropped it. But it's back. I get to have that conversation some more. Now, the framing is accurate. In April, what is keeping Tesla back from accomplishing the short-term goals that they set for themselves? That part. And I'll tell you, it's because Mr. Musk cannot set anything to do with time to save his life. Be it on a wristwatch, a stopwatch, a calendar, a decade calendar. It's just not going to happen. And so there you go. That's your answer. I'm curious what his answer will be, but that's the answer. The framing is accurate. In April, Tesla quietly softened its robotaxi expansion timeline for 5 announced cities from a firm first half 2026 to vague preparations underway. The Austin service, its flagship, still operates with only 20 vehicles and after more than a year after launch. Multiple versions of the same question: why has growth of robotaxi vehicles stalled, and what are new milestones for robotaxi deployment, considering the prior milestones missed, appeared throughout the top 20 several times. All heavily upvoted, discounting a couple million shares voted on the top 2 softballs. These are fair. They did set all these goals for themselves. So what happened? There are a certain amount of external factors, like you got to work with government, you got to work with different localities, but they are fair. Are you trying to tell me we're not going to the moon in 2 years, Mr. Green? I think we could be at the moon in 2 years, but maybe not moon basis. But I think we might be underway by then. Mars in 2 years? I don't think so. Sorry. Mainly because we were supposed to be on Mars 5 years ago. So the real bottleneck isn't Cybercab production, as several questions imply. Yeah, we just saw 250 of them just spread out for us to look at. Tesla software constraints on safety with its Model Y robotaxis, which run essentially the same hardware stack as a Cybercab. Yeah, adding a 2-seat vehicle doesn't solve the underlying problem. Yes, this one, the Hardware 3 problem that shareholders can't get answered. I'd like to know. Where's my V14 Lite, Elon? Are you bringing it to South Korea? Where's mine? Supposedly it was going wide today. I saw there were some more posts, but I didn't see anybody saying they got it. One of the sharpest questions, Elon confirmed that Hardware 3 vehicles cannot achieve unsupervised self-driving. What is the plan for owners who paid for FSD, free hardware upgrades, transfers, refunds? What is the timeline, and what cost has Tesla accrued for this? The transfers better not be one of the Elon specials. Oh, you got 3 weeks to get a new car, because I can't get a new car right now. I'm not really that interested in a refund. I'd rather get the new hardware. And if you give me a refund, I want to keep the software I've got and get my refund, or get it with interest. For the second year running, Musk has confirmed that Hardware 3 vehicles, cars Tesla sold for years while promising they had everything they needed for full autonomy, cannot deliver unsupervised FSD. On the Q1 call, Tesla floated a plan to build microfactories just to retrofit those millions of cars. A plan we've said repeatedly is unlikely to actually happen. It's unlikely, but it is also the most efficient way to actually make it happen. Don't expect a concrete answer. Tesla's incentive is to keep stalling until it actually solved unsupervised FSD on newer hardware, which it still hasn't done. True. Admitting the scale of the retrofit or refund liability before that point would be an ugly look after a decade of selling the software that doesn't exist. Fear of a SpaceX merger and the AI story moving to SpaceX AI. 2 questions already revealed a different anxiety. One asks Musk to commit to achieving at least half of the goals outlined in your 2025 compensation plan before considering any offers to acquire or merge Tesla. That's not how it works, but that's a fair read on everything. Another asked about the plan to roll out Digital Optimus with SpaceX AI. Oh yeah, that's right. He did promise us Digital Optimus. I almost forgot about that thing. Tesla's capital contribution and its revenue share. I think we're actually kind of close to it. I've been using Grok 4.5 for a project, and we might be getting close to that digital optimist already. The merger question is a plea. Shareholders are afraid of Musk, who would fold Tesla into SpaceX AI, which absorbed XAI in a $1.25 trillion all-stock deal in February at terms favoring the company he owns more of. The $1 trillion pay package shareholders approved in November ties Musk's payout to an $8.5 trillion market cap and milestones like a 1 million robotaxis and 1 million Optimus bots. Investors want those goals hit. Tesla protected before any deal. I can see where they're coming from. The digital Optimus question is also revealing. Musk previously said Tesla has the best AI team and didn't need what was then XAI to build Optimus's brain. Now the plan runs through SpaceX AI, the entity attached to Musk's AI ambitions, while Tesla shareholders who were told that they'd benefit from the AI push, watch value or the perceived value migrate to a company they don't own, which was the very first issue that people had when Musk did the swaparoo of the graphics card deliveries, because the SpaceX data center wasn't ready yet, and the X data center was. And it's been going on ever since. Electric's take. I thought this was all Electric's take. Electric says, the questions are the story here. When a company's own shareholders spend their votes demanding to know why it can't hit a single short-term target and asking the CEO to promise not to sell them out in a merger tells you more than any prepared remark Musk will deliver on the 22nd. Going right up. Tesla just posted its best ever second quarter with 126 deliveries. Yet the top retail questions aren't about celebrating the car business. Well, Tesla's not celebrating the car business, so why would the questions? After all, these same shareholders have been screaming for the last 5 years, since Tesla stock has only been trading sideways, that it's not an automaker anymore. Instead, the questions are about robotaxi milestones that keep slipping, FSD hardware promise that Tesla broke for millions of owners, and an Optimus timeline that exists mostly in anticipation of solving AI problems that nobody's solved yet, and the fear that actual AI value is being routed into SpaceX AI. That's a valuation built almost entirely on promises being questioned by the people who paid for those promises. Fair. Which questions Tesla actually answers on the call? That's a good question. They usually call them out, but I don't know if they'll call out some of these ones. Even if they won't answer them, they'll call them out. Safe bet is that the 2 whale boosted softballs get airtime. Yeah, that's for sure. And the hardware 3 refund question does not. Correct. The hardware 3 one would be one that I expect that they just mumble and don't read online. And then when they go to the phone calls, he can't dodge that. He can not answer it, but he can't stop the question. So I think that's when we get our hardware 3 question, is on the phone calls. If Tesla ducks the accountability questions again, that's the real signal, and shareholders are clearly running out of patience, especially the ones in Europe, because at least the ones in the States, we've got to sample this thing getting better up until 2 years ago. Yeah, I'm curious what the comments are on this one. Loading. Says 100 of them. Let's go. There you go. Waymo has the option to delete unnecessary sensors or other hardware if and when software capabilities make that possible. They already have a verified working insurable business operating in multiple cities, right, Tesla? Yes, baby. Can I make chocolate milk for you? Not right this second, but yeah, probably. Can I make her chocolate milk? Exactly. In addition, sensor costs will continue to drop over the years. Yes, that's true. And what started as a custom base vehicle becomes much cheaper when built on high volume base vehicle. It seems expensive today and won't be in a few years. Also worth mentioning that the robotaxi business can justify higher capital costs per vehicle than consumer car business. And they've already started with all their special camera washers and telematic stack. Within a few years, that extra cost will be pennies per mile. Yep. Much cheaper than a human driver, but enough to affect profit if there are competing robotaxis. Waymo is betting that running the business effectively, high utilization per day, will make up for any extra capital cost. That voting procedure is designed deliberately to silence all but the biggest investors. You could easily fix that by by putting maximum on it, so that, for example, only the first 500 shares are held by any particular person are counted for upvoting. That kind of thing is well understood. We don't know who say.com really is, do we? I haven't looked into it. Based on observation, all the questions say is that Tesla investors have bought into the narrative that Tesla is no longer a car maker, hook, line, and sinker. Questions about robotaxis, autonomous driving, and robots were plenty, and way more than questions about cars or energy products. Yeah, that part right there, the energy products. Hardly get any play. Hardware 3, you say. At this point, I'm not so sure even hardware 4 vehicles are not running on something diluted to work better with the hardware. Another good point. The cars will need more memory and faster processing, at least 64 gigabytes of RAM, in my opinion. I wouldn't be surprised if hardware 4 down the road needs updating also. I would not be surprised if hardware gets separated into commercial and consumer grade versions later. Yeah, it would be interesting call, though, just to see how things get spun this time around. People have clearly had it. In fact, hardware 4 running a scaled down version of what is running in the Cybercab. They will need hardware 5 before they can run the full software. And that's why I say that hardware 5 is going to be in cars before Musk has been leading us on to. I think that he was trying anti-Osborning and sucking at it. Here is what is really happening. Elon is stalling until AI 5 is installed. Meanwhile, they're being forced by regulation in China and the EU and probably the US to add at least radar to meet regulatory requirements. True, read the regs that came out last month. So the entire robotaxi rollout is a sham designed to let Tesla say, see, it worked. And it's just a regulatory thing and not our fault. So we don't owe you anything. My car's got radar, though. And it's still active. Tesla will then pivot to a high-resolution radar. Too much egg on face to go LiDAR. Plus the Thor-class processor they said they did not need. And Musk will triumphantly announce that he was part of the risk management plan all along. And that is why they were running the Phoenix radar in Models S and X in shadow mode all these past years. Now you know. I'd say that's a fair possibility. Solo says, can you imagine the market when we're going to the moon? To the moon! I expect that the when the moon is imminent, that the market will. I don't know what they're going to do with it, but I think the market might appreciate it. Depending on who announces it, of course, because obviously if FedEx says they're going to the moon, actually no, that one might do well. If Starbucks or Chipotle said they're going to the moon, they might freak out. If SpaceX said it, 50-50. Mainly because SpaceX is already supposed to be going there anyway. Pretty much this. He's going to wait until radar or whatever. This will have to comply with the EU's manual controls requirements. They might even have to move the interior door handles to a place that most people would expect them to be. He's going to have to wait until radar or whatever second, third safety systems are deemed necessary by law. They come out with something that works and will say it's only because I had to. Old Tesla drivers may eventually be able to have their unsupervised FSD in certain areas that have been mapped only in good weather. Ouch. I hope you're wrong. The recent FMVSS 127 AEB regulations don't demand particular sensors, nor are they very severe. Between the notice of proposed ruling and the final rule, commenters argued the weather and lighting test conditions couldn't be reliably repeated, so they were dropped. I think you can do that. If you do, just make sure that these are the conditions minimum. You test there outdoors, or you just put it inside and make it match. It won't be cheap, but it can be done. Prior to the final ruling, Mobileye had said the meeting the regulators would require their most advanced processor, but when finalized, they said they only need cameras and one of their older devices. I'm sure Mobileye likes the lower cost on that because the current state of electronics, even Mobileye didn't want to spend their most expensive stuff on this. I think the explanation for Tesla's failure to deploy robotaxis is given in the article. Wait, you mean an emergency when you need to quickly leave the car? The handles are supposed to be where you expect them to be? Holy cow. So it's amazing how many manufacturing companies and the mining companies are working on it right now. Yes. I'm wondering how many are going to manufacture on the moon or just going to take the materials and send them back. I agree that AI4 likely won't get L4 or L5 certification in customer cars without an upgrade to AI5. L4 certification possible on AI4. Possible, yes, but I think at that point they're going to say, hey, look, we have these factories, these micro factories, if that ever comes to be, to do the hardware 3. All right, let's get them out of the way. All right, great. Now we've got to do the millions of other L3. Yeah, same thing. Now we can do all the rest of the fleet. And I still say for the cars that don't comply, just replace the dashboard. Just one drop in, click, 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 done, versus trying to do all that by hand. Because if you do all that by hand, it's still going to be a mess. Now, on the ones that already have the right slots, then you just replace the computer and the screen and be done. Or not the screen anymore. Either way. Maybe, maybe not. Tesla might figure out autonomous driving without extra sensors, but so far has not succeeded. What do you mean they haven't succeeded? They've done okay, except for the, oh no, a bird, the slam on the brakes. On the other hand, Waymo has demonstrated repeatedly that its sensor suite is working now today. Have they? The sensor suite is working, but the processing it's failing. Driving through emergency sites and everything. Maybe Tesla buys Waymo. Yes. Do they appear to be indicative of a larger problem with the sensor suite? In my opinion, no. Read the regulations, and yes, more sensors help Waymo a lot, as you would know if you read the peer-reviewed studies. All the sensors Waymo operating a truly driverless cab, Tesla cannot. Waymo have a full self-driving car. Tesla has a fake self-driving car. I do not trust either. Odds are Mr. Musk being one of the top loading on those 2 softball questions. Odds on him answering 2 questions and ending the call. I can't say I wouldn't put it past him. I don't think it's him, though. Because why would he not pick cooler questions? I don't know why they bother. Musk only concern with shareholders is when he needs them to approve a new pay package. It feels that way. Tesla's failure to offer refunds of FSD to those who want a refund is going to bite them. There's no good reason not to offer a refund, as their legal position is untenable. They have no defense in keeping the money of our 3 customers who purchased FSD and want a refund. I think that you just need to make it a license for those people who have a fully purchased version, and we can just move it from car to car. And then if you want more licenses, those extra licenses are pay per month, because that's all they offer. They're setting themselves up for lawsuits on damages on reduced value on all Tesla cars sold with hardware 3, regardless of FSD purchase or not. Because the car that will never be FSD capable is only worth less than a car that is expected to be FSD capable shortly. Double-digit billions in damages, plus any punitive multipliers. There's no legal requirement for someone to hold on to shares of a wildly overvalued stock of a company. He's missing his goals. And why bother asking questions of a psychological liar? I phrase it as he says stuff. There's a legal requirement for someone to hold on to shares. Yeah, there is. In some cases. If you decide to sell, you have to sell to someone, and then that someone will be holding on to the shares. Someone will always be left holding the bag and asking why the bag is not full of cash. Why were you downvoted for this? We could argue that every Ponzi scheme has bag holders. I wouldn't say it's a Ponzi scheme. There's no legal requirement for you to hold on to the stock. Maybe certain people after going public, but not you. Yeah, but he didn't say you. He said some people, and that's true. Some people are legally required to hold on to it. There's no requirement for you to hold on to stock. There's a requirement for someone to hold the stock. We only sidestep the idiot label by finding a greater idiot to stand in our place, if we can. When discussing idiots that are holding back the stock, we must accept there is a legal rule which requires their idiots holding the stock. Even if it's different idiots day by day. From our 10,000 foot perspective, these idiots are indistinguishable. Why ask why do these idiots still hold on to the stock? The answer is, of course, because they, whoever they are, moment by moment, must. If you don't agree with this, you're not thinking clearly, and you should try again. The existence of publicly held Tesla implies idiots holding Tesla. We cannot do anything about that, but we must be. We can only ask ourselves whether we should be railing against something that must be or accepted. The stock price, I would suggest, is the real problem. I think I see where he's going. But you see, people use the voting in different ways. Pedantically, I am correct. How could you downvote that? By sentiment, I'm being annoying by attempting to point out that we can not simply assign the title idiot as you would like to all bag holders. Because there must be bag holders, some of whom hypothetically must have had good reasons to own the stock, and then found themselves unable to sell in time. Ooh. Insightful. Since I am claiming the universe apparently aspires to define into existence idiots, we can vote against that notion. To my detractors, I would point out that given the world is full of so many idiots on every subject, surely you must have suspected by now that there's a universal law that at play to create the right. There's the bigger idiot law, right? Oh, coming around full circle. I like that. Central limit on theorem. Some people will be wrong for no reason other than to support the requirement of the statistical variance of sampling fidelity. For example, the majority of people that... All right, we got to get to politics now, huh? Even if a lot of them are now claiming they didn't. This, despite all evidence of the obvious, genetics, philosophical, financial, and temperamental similarities. Interesting. I'm done with that thread because it's only going to go worse. If you own Tesla stock and complicit in everything Elon does to his companies, not necessarily. The time to get out was before he ransomed the company with his second thought AI startup for more Tesla control. You don't understand why they complain, sell and move on, buckle up, and hope he really does die on Mars someday. Wow. And if you've been shared the truth since the cure and prevention of all needless and preventable suffering is... All right, I think I'm done with these comments. And my lunch is cold by now. So let's do this. I want to thank all of our channel members, and I want to thank all of you guys for coming through today. And if you don't mind, hit that thumbs up. And if they have the hype button for me, I'd like you to hype it. And we will catch you on the Tesla Life show on the Express on Monday and live on Wednesday. And then we'll catch you back here next week. On time, hopefully. But thanks again. Catch you on the flip side. And maybe I'll figure out how to get the spaces working again. It might be a bug report. It might be that they didn't mean to remove it from Android. I don't know. We'll see. Catch you on the flip side.